All right, guys, here we go. Cody Law, MMA Bellator debut coming up around the corner. My man, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Before we talk into a lot of MMA stuff, wrestling stuff, the whole journey to ATT, everything of that nature, I saw you. Great pictures. Donald Trump Jr., that
Yeah.
big thing they did there, American Top Team. How did that come to be?
Well, Masvidal's like I think he's kind of developing a relationship with them. So he
Right,
went on like a little tour for like a couple like he had rallies across South Florida, I guess maybe for the whole weekend. And the
right.
final stop was at American Top Team. So Dan let me know that was going to be going on and I came down for it. It
No,
was
that's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
That was a great picture with you and Trump Jr.
Yeah, it was really cool, man.
I
I
think
was
it's like
excited.
2040. You two guys, he can be the pres, you be the vice.
Yeah, man. Everybody at the gym was like, "Man, that guy looks like he could be your dad." And I looked at it and I was like, "He kind of does."
Not bad. Good lineage.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but all right, so let's get into it. So I went to your website, go to the Instagram, Cody Law MMA, and then there's a little website there. I hit it and I start reading all your accomplishments. Like it takes me a little bit, like 3 minutes to read all these
yeah.
great lines. Did you know back then, when was your first instance of, hey, I think I can use, all this wrestling, all this great knowledge and work ethic that I got from it to cross over to mixed martial arts? When was that first little inkling came to you?
Um, I don't know if it did. I wanted to fight before I was even good at wrestling. So
Really?
like, yeah, I started wrestling seriously in about seventh grade,
Okay.
and maybe eighth grade, I was uh, I was like for sure I wanted to fight. And in junior high, I was terrible at wrestling, like clumsy, falling all over the place. I was
Wow.
really bad for a long time. And but I would watch the UFC fights like GSP and Anderson Silva in my uncle's garage whenever I was young. And there was a moment where I was watching, I think it was a GSP fight against Jake Shields, where I was like, this is what I want to do, you know.
Yeah.
And so then just from there on out, the goal was always I'm going to wrestle, become a state champion, become a national champion, and then just go right to fighting. And it's worked out. So
Wow. Yeah, it has. It's you got the accomplishments done that way. Now you are you amateur straight into professional, straight into Bellator. And it's been like I feel Bellator always gets that little twinge of the stepchild of the UFC. They just always do. But recently, I think what Bellator is doing really good, especially with Cody Law being one of them, seems like they're signing up good young talent instead of
yeah,
the elder veterans that have been around the game a little bit. Do you feel that as well, and do you like to be a part of that new wave for Bellator MMA?
yeah. I mean, I'm excited to be a part of Bellator. I think they're doing a good job. Like they're getting a lot of good wrestlers,
Right,
and good wrestlers make great fighters. So it makes sense to me.
absolutely. Anything you're looking forward to turning amateur to pro? It's another level up. How ready are you to kind of get into that cage, make that walk, get that 1-0 under the pro belt for you at October 29th?
Yeah. I'm excited to make money, to make money with amateurs, and
Yep.
I'm excited for pro rules. And yeah, I mean, every time I fought amateur, there was always in the back of my head, it was like, man, all these wins are gonna be they're wiped out. You know what I mean? As soon as I go pro, but
Right,
now I get to like start really building a legacy. You know what I mean? 1-0, 2-0, up to 30-0. You know, and
right.
I'm excited for that. This is the beginning of like my life. I feel like.
Right, professional life. You mentioned that 30, and a wrestler, so I'll have something in the back there. That kind of
Yeah.
leads me to something, but I still want to stick with. So wrestled in the Northeast. I would assume, is that where you're from in that Northeast area?
Yeah, I'm from about an hour and a half outside of Pittsburgh. It's
Right.
Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did the now you're training the American Top Team, beautiful South Florida weather, palm
Yeah.
trees. Are you a Northeast guy still, or are you like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I'm a Florida boy now?
No, I'm still a Northeast guy, man. I miss the fall time right now.
Right.
It's still so hot out here in Florida. I was out like looking around. I was out like doing stuff yesterday, and I literally looked like I was out going for a run. I was sweating so bad, just
Okay.
like pouring off of me. But back
Yeah.
home right now, it's beautiful. It's like maybe 50 degrees. The leaves are changing. I really like that. So I'm flying straight home as soon as my fight's done. I'm flying straight home for like a week or something just to enjoy the weather before I come back
Right.
down here.
No, we live in Daytona Beach, Florida. The whole
Oh
family's
yeah.
out. And, we're putting up Halloween stuff. It's Halloween time. I got all the kids, and they love to see Halloween stuff. So I go
Yeah.
out there last weekend before the fights. and I'm drenched. I'm sweating. I'm like, how am I putting up minion and skulls on my house? And I'm
Yeah.
sweating. It doesn't feel like Halloween at all, man.
Doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it. So I stay inside in the air conditioning and I watch Halloween movies in the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. How did the connection with American Top Team come to be?
So it's kind of a funny story. I signed with First Round Management, so I'm with Malky and Abe.
Yep.
And two of my good friends from Penn State, Tony Cassar and Bo Nickel, came down when George was getting ready to fight Usman, and I
Right.
saw a like an Instagram story or something of Bo and Tony down here, and so I swiped up on it. It was from my manager Malky, and I said something about how like those are my guys or whatever, and he messaged me right back, was like, "You want to come down here and help George get ready?" And I thought he was like messing with me, because I mean
Nothing don't
that's
mess.
like I've watched George Masvidal's fights on sitting on my couch so many times back home. You know what I mean? And it was like a dream come true. And then he says that to me, and I was like, yeah, I could be there as soon as you can get me there. Like, what's the details? Like, where am I gonna stay and stuff? And he was like, I got you. Next day, I'm on a flight to American Top Team, and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been to that gym multiple times. Love the gym. So many guys at that gym I know, talk to on a daily basis. From your aspect, tell me a couple guys, a coach, or a couple fighters there that are almost like unsung heroes at ATT. We all know the top end guys. We all hear Masvidal. We all hear some of the heavyweights. The females there are incredible. Tell me a couple guys you're like, wow, that guy's a killer. He gets no pub, no love.
I don't know if this like qualifies, but Kyoji Horiguchi, I mean, I think he gets love. I mean, he's a two organization champion just
Monster.
recently before he hurt himself, but I don't feel like he still gets enough credit, man. He's
Right.
incredible.
Right.
I'm actually at his house right now. He's one of my good friends down here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and he's really really freaking good, man.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah, the whole gym is packed.
Yeah.
Like I said, let me rewind to something you said. You said 30-0. There's a wrestler who does that, trying to become 30-0. Who are some fighters now that you watch? You're like, okay, I can really mirror that. I can take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then, yeah, I would love your take on that Habib Gaethje fight coming around next week.
Man, I don't know. Like I watch everybody, every style, you know, because I'm not just a wrestler. I'm not gonna fight like that. Like I'm not going in there to just take guys down and beat them up on the ground. I want to be the best striker. I watch a lot of boxing too. I love to watch Canelo and Floyd and Triple G, Lomachenko. I love watching boxing. I love to strike. So it's not just I do watch Habib fights. I watch GSP fights. I really like GSP style. I feel like he's like the perfect fighter, you know.
Right.
If he fights somebody who's a better striker than him, then no problem. He takes him down and beats him up. If he fights someone who's a good grappler, then he's better on the feet, you know. So I like that. I like that kind of mindset and game plan.
For sure. Lomo fighting this weekend. What do you think of Lomo and Lopez Saturday night?
Man, I'm so excited. I think Lomachenko's gonna win, but it's hard for me to ever pick against Lomachenko, you know.
Right.
But I hear some people who know Lopez and they think Lopez is gonna win. They say he's tough, he's big, and we'll see, you know. I'm excited.
The man hits so hard, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. He's so skillful, and then when you have the power, it's like, it's just you don't want to get hit by one of those hooks. You just can't happen.
Yeah, I think he's naturally a good bit bigger than Loma too, I think.
Right.
But man, Lomachenko moves so well. It's almost like once he gets in a rhythm, it's gonna be tough to hit him, I feel like. You know.
Going today, Lomo is my favorite boxer in the game right now. I'm a Roy Jones Jr. guy. He's been on the show. Love me some Roy Jones. He was just with Joe Rogan talking and love it. But right now, going today, Lomo's the dude. I think he is the man.
Yeah. Pound for pound?
Yeah.
I think it's him or Canelo. I think him or Canelo, man. Canelo, I think is
right.
I can't stop watching his fights, man. I can watch the same fights again and again and again. I love the way he fights, especially his more recent fights, man. His defense has gotten so good. I love it.
He's leveled up big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, I love it.
Man, we could talk boxing all day long. I saw that you're actually 2-0 boxer, right?
Yeah, man. Honest to God, I have dreams and aspirations to become many-time world champion in MMA and then go over to boxing.
Wow.
Of course, everyone's like, because when I started boxing, I was like telling my coach, like, man, I'd like to just box. Like, I love this so much. Of course, it's like disrespectful to all the work I put in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be an MMA fighter for a while, and MMA world champion is my dream. But I would really like to be the first ever guy to be a MMA world champion and then be a boxing world champion. Boxing is so fun, man.
That
What's
is
that?
insane. Connor did it, had the crossover, a little bit more of a show. There's always been
Yeah.
talk. Masvidal's always been on that cusp of
Yeah.
doing that. If it is a Canelo or a Triple G of some sort, so that's amazing, man. I'm very happy to hear that. I think that's something that could happen. You're still so young in the game, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I talked to so many of the guys. I talked to a lot of FRM guys, and they're like, guys, Cody's next. Like he's coming up next. You got a lot of great buzz around your name. All right, let's hit it real quick. Gaethje, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Who do you got and why?
I'm really torn because I have some really, really smart MMA minds that think Gaethje's gonna win, but I think Khabib is gonna win. I don't know that I don't know, man. I feel like how good is Gaethje off his back? Because it's probably inevitable that Khabib's gonna get him down at least once, right?
Sure.
Khabib's striking is underrated. I think he's good. Because of his wrestling, right? I mean, he dropped Connor because of his wrestling.
Of course.
I don't know. It's gonna be like, I think it's gonna come down to, does Gaethje stay off the fence well? It's gonna be hard to take Gaethje down in the open because he is a wrestler. He knows how to limp leg, especially once they start getting sweaty. But if he gets him against the fence and starts to drag it out and get him to the ground, what has Gaethje ever been fighting off his back? Has he ever been on his back in a fight? I don't know.
A couple
I'm
times,
sure
but
he's training it, but
he pops back up so quickly. But everyone you hear, Dustin Poirier, the ATT guy, there's just something different with Khabib when he grabs you. Like you just don't get out of that. You know what I mean? And it's funny you say that. I was thinking Gaethje, the momentum's with Gaethje, just great, mojo. He can stand, wrestle, all that. But I've been doing this talking MMA for so long now. It seems like, why does everyone pick against John Jones and Israel Adesanya and Khabib Nurmagomedov? All these guys have zeros by their name. Like I'm going to go with Khabib until he loses. I'm just going to go that way.
Yep. I was picking against Khabib for a little while there. There was a few fights where I was.
Yeah, I did too.
I won't do it again. I won't pick against Khabib again. I won't pick against Adesanya for a while, man. I don't see anyone that can beat him right now.
No.
John Jones. I mean, these guys, they're undefeated for a reason.
100%.
Until they lose, it's hard to pick against them.
And like I said, so I talk to a lot of people that know around you in their circle and stuff, and they always say that, dude, you're just a good dude, can communicate, and you back it up. Are you then of course there's the Connor, there's the Chimaev, there's the way of the show, you know what I mean, to do the show. Do you look down on that angle, or do you totally understand what they're trying to do? And would you want to maybe do that to pull in tons of people? Because Chimaev 6 months ago was very nameless, and now he's just one of the biggest guys in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think about it too much. I just want to be myself and let whatever happens. You know what I mean? If I as a person kind of like gravitate towards that as fighting goes on, then cool. I think that I'll get the viewership regardless. If I'm just being authentic, I think that's what people like to see. They like to see being authentic. Connor's authentic. That's the way he is, Maybe this Chimaev guy, that's the way he really is. But people love to watch GSP too, because that was his authentic self, and he was the complete opposite of that.
Right.
People also don't love to see the guys who are acting like this, who aren't authentic, when you can tell it's an act. So I'm just going to be myself, and I think that the way I fight and the way I carry myself will do the trick.
I agree, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate talking to you. Your Instagram handle, Cody Law MMA. Platform's yours. Any kind of sponsorships or coaches, anything you want to shout out? Platform's yours, my man.
Yeah, just tune in October 29th. Bellator, I'll be on the prelims, YouTube. Shout out to American Top Team, Matt Factory Wrestling Club, Maris Taekwondo, and Southside Boxing back home. I appreciate you guys.
There we go. Cody Law making the pro debut, Bellator 250. That's a good round number, man. We're going to get the winning streak started. Appreciate your time. We'll talk soon. All right, Cody?
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it.